Hello, Chetna.
Hey!
What is your simple pleasure?
I think the process is the actual fun.
I find great satisfaction in it.
I remember those lovely moments with my mum in her kitchen.
Oh, Mum's in a good mood today.
Simple pleasures need to be simple. Oh, this has been so much fun.
Hello everyone and welcome to my new online series, Simple Pleasures. Here I'll be joined by a special guest each week as we dive into all of life's simple pleasures and what a simple pleasure means to them. So this week I've got the fabulous Chetna Makan, who appeared on our screens in 2014's Great British Bake Off and has since written 4 cookbooks, gained over 115,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, Food with Chetna, and run the London Marathon in 2018. I am just out of breath saying that. Oh, whew. Hello, Chetna.
Hey! Hello!
How are you?
I am very well. The sun's shining, so I'm very happy today.
Oh, fantastic. Look, I think the last time I met you was on Columbia Road.
Yes, you're right. For a cake sale.
A cake sale, a charity cake, Bake for Syria, I think that was. And I think that was in 2017, I believe.
I have no idea about that, but yes. We met.
I don't know. I think so, but I can't, oh my goodness, my memory's bad. But I follow you. I Instagram stalk you most of the time, basically.
Don't we all do that? We Instagram stalk each other.
Yeah, but you've just had a new cookbook come out, haven't you?
Yes.
So and you've been posting daily videos on your YouTube channel. I can't keep up. So you've done a cookbook and you're posting the videos. You are content creator max.
Yes, actually I feel like that right now because it has been obviously nobody's asked me to do it, so I'm doing it by my choice, but since lockdown I just needed something to keep myself busy, and also just I am going to cook for my family anyways, so why not make a new thing every day and then share it with people, so it gives people ideas of what they can do with their meals, which obviously is quite a task right now, cooking every day for families. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying it actually.
That's fantastic. Do your kids like that they are the guinea pigs? What do they think of me?
God, yeah. They love it because obviously they've got variety. They've got, and I'm not only doing savory stuff, I'm doing lots of different kinds of cakes and things. So they are very happy.
I see your cakes. Those cakes look amazing. I mean, I wish I could, you could send me a slice in the Instagram DM and it'll pop up, but they look, oh my goodness. And everybody, whenever you post a picture, they are drooling all over them. They look amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love a good cake.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah, true.
If you don't like a good cake, then we're not going to make good friends.
I know. Some people say, "Oh, I haven't got a sweet tooth." Oh no, that's wrong.
Yeah. That's going to be difficult. So my new TV show is about simple pleasures. And for me, simple pleasures, it's not something grand. It's something which you can do any time of the day. You don't need to make a great gesture. And I was wondering what a simple pleasure for you, what the definition is.
For me, I think simple pleasures is kind of really simple home cooked meals. Say example, I don't want a fancy cake with multi-layered and covered in fondant or looks beautiful. I just want a simple Victoria sponge with some raspberry jam and fresh cream. It just doesn't need to have anything else, and just things like that. It doesn't have to have all this dressed on a plate with, all these little micro salads and things. It just needs to be hearty and, simple. Yeah, simple pleasures need to be simple.
We get you. So no fancy decoration.
No.
Yeah, so it's more about the flavor than the actual look of it then, maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think just when it's kind of comes together quite quickly as well, like say example, just some dal and rice, because it's so easy, quick to make, but then when you eat it, you feel like the comfort food, aspect. So it's that's quite important.
So you mentioned dal as like a simple pleasure for you. Do you have another like favorite in the home, a simple pleasure, which always goes down well with the kids, the whole family?
Yes, I think my chicken curry is another one, which is quite kind of quite high up there, which goes really well with the kids, and we all kind of really enjoy it. So that's another one of the simple foods.
And when it comes to cakes, it's Victoria sponge all the way, or do you have another favorite?
Mm, well, my family loves
Yeah.
the chocolate brownies.
Okay.
So for them, it is simple pleasures is the chocolate brownie. Obviously, they love the Victoria sponge, but I'm not a massive chocolate fan. So yeah, for them, they're over the moon when they find out I'm making brownies.
If they can smell it in the air, they're like,
Yes, absolutely, yes.
they know, oh, mum's in a good mood today.
Definitely.
And it's interesting, you originally started off in fashion, your career, your professional career, and then you've kind of pivoted into food. So like in a professional like in professional world, was there anything you enjoyed or like a simple pleasure you took in your work day?
I think when I was in fashion, I think the simplest pleasures were when I would design something on paper, and then say even an embroidery piece or accessories or clothes, and then as the things started to come together and started taking shape, that were just the simplest things, or just choosing the right fabrics for what I have in mind, trying to in a fabric shop, just those kind of things were quite the highlights actually.
So do you find like from fashion to food, are there lots of similarities?
Oh, completely. I find for me, fashion is really exactly almost as same similar to food, because um, so in before I was just drawing clothes, and then in the end creating the outfits or whatever I was creating. And in food, I'm thinking about a recipe, and then I'm writing down the ingredients, and then I'm creating the end product, the food, the dish, the recipe. And I think it's exactly the same.
So there seems to be a lot of satisfaction and joy found in like the process. Like you mentioned the process, like when you were designing and then like seeing the item of clothing being created, and then like with food, like coming up with the idea and then seeing the dish like in the kitchen in the end. So that process is that kind of creativity is something I really enjoy. I get a lot of pleasure from, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I think as a like a fellow creative, that there's a lot of pleasure that can be found in the process, or that satisfaction of finishing something. I don't know whether you find a lot of satisfaction when you've finished a dish, you've got an end result.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it is as important as the finished product is. Of course, we get to eat it and enjoy it, but I think the process is the actual fun, because that's when you're kind of tasting it and you think, oh, I need to add a little bit more. Oh, I really wanted to have a bit more kind of whatever different flavors. Oh, it just needs, and then you kind of wait for it to cook. And I think the whole process is, absolutely agree with you, is more enjoyable. But obviously the end product is quite key. And then to actually see people enjoying the food that you've created is just the best.
Do you find when somebody says, "Oh, I've made this recipe or that recipe," is there like a sudden little glow inside you have?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, the joy it gives me when people say, "Oh, I made it for my husband's birthday," or, I've got an Indian mother-in-law and I made this, and then it's just so lovely to read those little messages when they have tried. And if it is for a special occasion or somebody's missing their mom or whatever, and they've made it, oh, it's just lovely. It is just so lovely.
So you grew up in India. I guess everybody's childhood is so influenced by food. I think there's so many memories tied up in what you experienced as a child. Those influences and memories, are there anything from when you were a child, like a pleasure you can remember that you try and recreate now as an adult?
I think we used to. I used to always be helping my mom in the kitchen. Absolutely always. And we're three sisters, so our jobs used to be lay the table, get everything set up. And she didn't like just plate piled up. She wanted it properly set up. So, like, properly with the mats and the table setting properly every day. And then our jobs used to be to clear the table in the end. And I would just help chopping up and in the kitchen with the jobs. My other two sisters were not so much into their food at that time, but I've always been into it. And I think I try the same with my kids. So especially right now, even before, but right now even more because they are at home, I do the same. I tell them to lay the tables, and I want exactly the same. I want it to feel nice and special when we're sitting down. And I'll ask them to break mint leaves or things like, just little jobs which I know they will happily do. So I try and recreate the sim because I remember those lovely moments with my mom in her kitchen. And I'm hoping that my kids will remember, helping me out in the kitchen as well.
So you're passing on that pleasure or that memory as a child you had with your mother.
Yes.
Onto like the next generation, and I guess it's more about showing them you can find a small pleasure in something very menial, setting the table, but isn't that such a lovely thing to do, and have the time to have a meal and create that experience.
Absolutely. And I think this is a good time for them to learn that actually these simple pleasures are the real pleasures, in the sense that this is the time they will all remember so clearly. No, none of us are going to forget the lockdown, are we?
A blessing in disguise.
Yes.
So I cannot believe it that you've run one marathon and you're training for another. Because I've always struggled with running. Yeah, we're like that. But I've always struggled with running. I mean, in the past, I didn't even run for the bus, but now I did this couch to 5K, and I do a little bit of running. But you do actual long distance. I mean, marathon, that's long. What is it with, where do you find your pleasure in, exercise, or what is the thing for you? What is your simple pleasure when it comes to exercise?
I think it's just how it makes me feel. And I'm actually, you say I have run one marathon only. I'm not a long distance runner myself. I just wanted to do one marathon in my life. And it was like a tick box moment for me. But I like just little runs. So we went out this morning with my son, and myself went for a run. And actually it's just getting some fresh air. And I'm very lucky to be living by the sea. It's just hearing that sound of the waves and the ocean is so relaxing. And obviously you're getting exercise out of it as well, which is a bonus. But it's just the calm and the breeze, and it just makes you forget everything else, and you are in that moment. I think that's why I love it.
And is there, so getting out I think everybody's really appreciated that recently, the fact that you can go out. But is there something you can do, you find you do every day, because it's just something easy that can be, start again. Is there something you do every day which is just something simple that doesn't need going out, and you find you do it every day because it is a pleasure to do?
Do you mean in terms of exercise or?
No, anything. It could be anything like you find you do every day and you're like, right. For me, for instance, I like to make my bed every day because I feel like I've achieved something, even if I don't get anything else done. But it sounds really, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just the everyday jobs, which I actually, some people might find it annoying. But say, example, in the morning when I wake up, I'm the only one in the kitchen. Just to empty that dishwasher. I know it sounds crazy, but just to empty that dishwasher alone in the kitchen in the morning is actually quite pleasurable.
It sounds like it's a bit meditative, you having.
It is. Yes, it is. And not everyone might understand this, but actually it is quite therapeutic, and it's kind of like it's like an exercise.
I get it, because there's a beginning, the dishwasher's full, and there's this process where you're like putting things away, and there's the end where the dishwasher's empty.
Yeah, and it's always the same time of the day in the morning. So I come down and it's empty and it's nobody, it's just me and the dishwasher. Stuff in the dishwasher. It's actually quite nice. I really enjoy it.
I can see that. I like something which is easy, can be achieved, and you end up with a visual, a result you can see.
Yes.
I don't know, like with my work, my list is never ending. So whenever I tick something off a list, it just keeps on going, keeps on getting longer and longer. So I think that those small tasks which are achievable, it gives you I find great satisfaction in it. So.
Me too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
When it comes to like your free time, and like when you're not cooking and things you like to do in your free time, is there a particular thing you like to do which brings you immense pleasure?
I love gardening, but I am a fair weather gardener, so I don't garden in the winters. No gardening, just leave it on its own. But yes, I love it, and I don't grow anything, vegetables and fruits and such. I tried a few years ago. There were lots of cats, so I gave it up. Lots of cats around, and they just destroyed it. But it just add a lot of color in the garden, and it's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just kind of, trying to find the right flowers, and then, trying to nurture them or grow them from seed. And it's just love. It's just so lovely.
Well, look, I think I've started gardening. I've had 2 peas so far from my garden. So
it is hard work.
People could feel the fair weather gardening moment, it's just great. It's like you could switch off, you do something, like being busy with your hands. And I can see you've got a lot of house plants too.
Yes. I love the greenery. And actually they do need a bit of care and love. They actually do. So I spend a couple of hours every week kind of looking after them. So it gives me, I love it.
Well, look, I must say I really absolutely loved catching up with you and discovering your simple pleasures. It's been really fun. And I just want to say to everybody who's watching at home, make sure to check out Chetna's social channels. I'll leave them in the description below, and grab a copy of her new cookbook, Chetna's Healthy Indian Vegetarian. My new TV show, Rachel Khoo's Simple Pleasures, is airing Thursday the 2nd of July on the Food Network UK at 9 o'clock. So do watch it. In the meantime, have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next week with a new guest. Bye.